I'm a newly elected Green councillor for Clifton Down ward. So in 2019, in November, my co-ward councillor, actually, Carla Denyer, got a motion passed through the City Council declaring a climate emergency. In the year after, the city produced the One City Climate Strategy, and that is a plan with Bristol City Council and other partners in the city, so the NHS Trust and private businesses and big organisations in the city, to get the city to carbon neutrality by 2030. The reality is that that document is filled with good intentions, and we have seen some action from the City Council and from partners, but a lot of it is still just good intentions. So we're quite a long way off meeting our 2030 target as a city. And one thing that ourselves and ordinary Bristolians have really picked up on is we've declared a climate emergency, but we're not acting like it's an emergency. So if your house was on fire, you wouldn't sit around consulting with strategic partners on how you're going to put the fire out. You would act immediately, and that's one thing that we're really lacking. And I think that's partly why, we were so successful in the last election. We've got millions of pounds of council money, the Avon Pension Fund, invested in fossil fuels. That's an area that we've been trying to get the council to divest their money from for the last few years. We've got the airport on our borders wanting to expand, and the Labour administration are very happy to support that expansion. And the elephant in the room, of course, for Bristol is transport. The city has a chronic congestion problem, and with over a third of our direct carbon emissions coming from transport, it's a very clear area that we need to tackle, and one that successive administrations haven't been willing to grab by the horns really. The Citizens Assembly report has come out this year, and that has got some really strong actions from it that the local residents that took part in that Citizens Assembly have endorsed the council taking. So in that, there was a recommendation from the participants that 3 to 5% of road space should be given over to walking, cycling and green space year on year. There were recommendations around, improving cycle infrastructure, around retrofitting homes, and really the public's taste for radical action on the climate emergency is very evident in this report, and it shows that the public have moved beyond where our current political leadership is. That gives us great hope as a group that we can really use that appetite for radical action to push for concrete, deliverable actions that reduce our carbon emissions in the city. So one thing that we're really keen on, and we've been banging the drum about as Greens for a long time, is low traffic neighbourhoods. And that is about making the areas where we live safe and easy to get around by foot or by bike or by wheels of any sort. And we've got 2 sort of trial areas in the city where we've closed the roads to traffic. And in my area, for example, Cotton Hill, we've pedestrianised part of that street in a trial. And now we're looking at how we can change traffic flows in the streets around that to restrict car usage and really make it a safer, more pleasant environment for people to get out and about in. So those are 2 sort of short to medium term trials that we would hope will be a success and we can roll out in other parts of the city. It's ambitious still, but it's much more deliverable, and it's much more in line with where we need to be in 10 years' time. We don't want to be digging tunnels in 10 years' time. We need to be on a different transport network in 10 years' time. I think it's clear from the IPCC report that came out not enough is being done. They gave 4 very real possible scenarios of temperature rise by the end of the century, and one of the least likely ones was us hitting that 1.5 degree target. But I am still positive because it was still achievable. We can do it with large scale, rapid and sustained reduction in greenhouse gases. That was clear from the report, and I'm hopeful that our work and the work of thousands of ordinary people right across the city and beyond in pushing climate action up the agenda, if we can get the political will and the leadership to do it, we can do it. Bristol is a radical city, and Bristol wants radical leadership, and I think the results in May really showed that. But also I think that there are so many issues that we talked about today, and we've been talking about as Greens for a long time, about making sure our homes are warm, making sure our transport network is resilient and green, and making sure people feel listened to and feel like they can participate in our democracy. It boils down to us being a radical city. As Greens, we work really hard all the time. We work year round for the people we represent. Every area in the city that had a Green councillor re-elected a Green councillor, or re-elected more Green councillors. And this time we got elected in places like Lawrence Hill and places like Lockleys. And it really shows that the political debate has moved on. People are done with business as usual, and there is a real appetite for a better Bristol.